He unexpectedly falls in love with his best friend's mother. So taking advantage of the time when the friend's father is away, he takes her as his own, completely failing to notice that their explosive behavior is actually witnessed by his friend. Consequently, to get revenge on Ian, Tom goes to Ian's house the next day and does the exact same thing to Ian's mother. Tom states that at this very moment, Ian should be in his own mother's bedroom. Lil stands dazed for a long while, thinking she must have misheard, but looking at Tom's silent expression, she has no choice but to believe it. Clearly, Tom would not joke about such a thing. She never expected her best friend to get together with her own son. This woman she grew up with since childhood would actually do something so outrageous. Lil does not know how to face all of this. However, in a twist of fate, under the constant pursuit of her friend Roz's son, Tom, the woman who has been widowed for many years finally compromises. This kind of taboo love is truly irresistible.
Where have you been?
At Lil's. Doing to her what Ian's been doing to you.
But does he really do all of this just for revenge? Perhaps they had already set eyes on each other long ago. This movie, titled Adoration, will surely subvert your perception after watching it. Lil and Roz grew up together, swam together, and enjoyed sunny afternoons together. After growing up, they worked together, and each gave birth to a son at the same time. However, a few years later, Lil's husband passed away unexpectedly, which dealt her a heavy blow. Fortunately, with Roz's company, Lil gradually stepped out of the pain of losing her husband. Time flies, and the two young boys have grown into adults in the blink of an eye, with Tom and Ian liking to play by the sea just as their mothers did back then. Looking at their vibrant bodies, the women cannot help but lament that being young is wonderful. When the last rays of the setting sun spill over this beach, they gather to eat, play cards, and have fun together with laughter and harmony. Yet this cozy life is quickly disrupted by Roz's husband, Harold. He got a high-paying job in Sydney, teaching vocal music and drama at the University of Sydney, and although it is far from home, the income is 5 times higher. He hopes Roz and their son can go with him, where their family will live a better life. However, Roz grew up on this land since she was a child, and has already become accustomed to life here. More importantly, she is unwilling to leave her best friend and Lil's son, Ian. With no other choice, Harold can only head to Sydney alone. The gears of fate begin to turn from this point on. One day, while swimming, Roz happens to encounter Ian, who is sunbathing. Even though they live together every day, the cramped space on the wooden deck still makes the atmosphere inevitably awkward. When Ian sees Roz's body, which still possesses its charm, his gaze instantly becomes vacant. He was watched by Roz as he grew up, so one could say Roz is like a second mother to him. Similarly, Roz is full of longing for this young body. They lie quietly on the wooden deck like this, neither of them speaking. At dinner that night, when they talk about Roz's husband, Roz says he has always been a man of his word, and no one can change a decision he has made. Ian's joke makes the atmosphere liven up immediately. Just then, soulful music comes from the radio, and Lil cannot help but start dancing along. Then Tom joins in as well. Their passionate dancing makes Roz and Ian outside involuntarily think of what happened this afternoon. They smoke while gazing deeply at each other in this manner. At night, because her son has had too much to drink, Lil lets him stay here to sober up while she goes back first. However, Ian was not actually drunk. He first took Tom to a downstairs room, then went up to find Tom's mother and kissed her without saying a word. Roz does not push Ian away, but instead immerses herself in it. Afterward, they go to the room. However, not long after, a sleepy Tom suddenly feels thirsty and comes upstairs to look for a drink, only to see his mother coming out of Ian's room, holding his pants and preparing to wash them. That night, he stands by the sea alone for a long time. He never expected his best friend would be the first to break the rules, so when he wakes up the next day, he rushes barefoot to Ian's house and does the same thing to Ian's mother. When Lil learns the truth, she is at a loss for what to do at first. Although this does not violate ethics, it goes against morality. However, that night, she still keeps Tom, who does not want to go home, at her house. When it is time to sleep, Tom tosses and turns, unable to fall asleep, so he goes to Lil's room and lies directly on the bed. Lil also knows it is Tom. She does not speak, but she does not turn around to look at him either. Although they spend the night in peace, upon waking up in the morning, they still fail to resist the desire in their hearts.
Where have you been?
At Lil's. Doing to her what Ian's been doing to you.
Roz did not expect that her affair with Ian would be exposed so quickly, and that in turn, her son would get together with her best friend. She must have a good talk with Lil.
It can't happen again. No, I suppose it can't.
However, when Lil tells this decision to Ian, she is met with a flat refusal. Ian expresses that he is already deeply involved and unable to pull himself out. Subsequently, Ian finds Roz, only to find that Roz gives the same answer as his mother. She decisively rejects Ian, unaware that Ian has developed true feelings for her. But when she sees Ian suffering because of her, she cannot help but step forward to comfort him, and he directly embraces her and kisses her. Roz does not refuse. Two hearts that are mutually attracted cannot be easily separated. On the other side, Tom and Lil also cannot resist the flood of desire. Clearly, once you step into the forbidden zone, it is very hard to come back out.
I don't want to stop. I don't see why we have to.
A few simple lines of dialogue have already indicated their attitude. Not long after, Harold returns, and Tom goes to pick him up. As a father, he immediately notices the changes in his son. At the same time, he discovers his wife seems to be hiding a secret.
What's the matter? You worried about the move?
Well, yeah.
Is it because of Tom's new girlfriend?
How do you know Tom has a new girlfriend?
Oh, he just about admitted as much to me. But, it's no reason to play silly buggers with his education.
He wants to give the mother and son a good life, but his wife is consistently unwilling to leave. Roz also sees her husband's difficulty and can only helplessly state that neither she nor her son has the courage to leave this place right now. However, Harold blames all of this on Lil, believing she is the one saying things to his wife behind his back. Roz wants to tell the real reason, but how could she ever put such a taboo matter into words? In the end, Harold leaves alone once again. Meanwhile, trouble also appears on Lil's side, namely, a pursuer from her company named Saul. She must shake him off. Otherwise, once their affair is exposed, they will become famous throughout the entire small town. Unexpectedly at this time, Tom and Ian get into a fight. Tom pushes Ian into the water, while Ian accuses Tom of being a coward who did the deed but dared not tell him. Although they have a dispute, neither side holds a grudge because of it. What Tom is angry about is not that Ian crossed the line, but that as a best friend, Ian did not tell him immediately. Afterward, they each pick up one of the 4 slices of fruit on the table, which represents their formal recognition of each other's relationship. In the afternoon, Saul comes to Lil's house, hoping Lil can give him an answer today since he has already made his feelings clear. Lil remains silent. Seeing how close Lil and Roz are, Saul seems to understand the reason, and then he turns and leaves. After Saul leaves, Lil and Roz both cannot help but laugh, as they did not expect Saul to actually mistake them for lovers. This misunderstanding is actually good, as it prevents him from continuing to pester her. Without the interference of outsiders, they can finally go live their happy, private lives. There are no worries and no fifth person, only youth and passion. 2 happy years pass in the blink of an eye. Ian begins to take over his mother's career, while Tom pursues his father's profession, theatrical performance. But local resources are limited, and if he wants to develop further, going to Sydney to find his father is a better choice. So, at his father's strong suggestion, Tom goes to Sydney alone, and this decision will completely shatter the beautiful relationship of the 4. While selecting theatrical actors with his father, a girl named Mary catches Tom's attention. Mary also notices his gaze. Since Harold and Roz separated, Harold has formed a new family locally because what he needs is someone willing to accompany and support him. Clearly, Roz is not that person. During dinner, Tom makes a call to Lil.
Rehearsals are going well?
Yeah. The girl playing Roxy's very, very good. She's a really strong performer and seems like she's got quite a lot of potential.
A woman's intuition tells her that Tom has fallen in love with that girl. Sure enough, Tom begins dating Mary, and when the passion is high, they go directly to Mary's bedroom. The private space is filled with youthful hormones, and he ultimately fails to resist this sense of freshness. On the other side, Lil, still thinking about that phone call from the afternoon, goes to a bar to try and drown her sorrows in alcohol. While ordering a drink, she meets a man who hits on her, and they have a pleasant conversation. But just as things are about to go further, Ian inappropriately appears. After her son spoils the situation, she puts on a forced smile, but after leaving the bar, she cannot help but complain about her son, though in reality, she is complaining about herself. She should not have broken the taboo in the first place, as the issue of age is always an insurmountable chasm. She is already over 40 with her looks fading, while the young girl on the stage is more radiant, making anyone who sees her unable to resist being moved. Seeing his mother feeling lost and uneasy, Ian truly felt for her. On the other side, the play directed by Tom and his father is a great success, but he does not linger too long, as there is someone he misses back home. Lil is still thinking on the deck when she suddenly hears the sound of a splash, and she knows it is Tom who has returned. As soon as they meet, they cannot wait to kiss. Lil thinks she can have him back, but a phone call that night makes her face reality once again. Clearly, it is the young girl calling. The next day, Harold returns and brings Mary along as well, because today is Tom's birthday. In the evening, as Lil watches Tom and Mary lingering together on the dance floor, she understands she should withdraw from Tom's life. And Tom also generously pulls his new girlfriend over to introduce her to Lil. The atmosphere is momentarily awkward, but fortunately, Ian rushes in to save the day by inviting Mary to dance. At the same time, Roz takes the opportunity to lead Harold away to create private space for them.
She's staying at a hotel. I can drop her home and then come by, if you want.
He wants to comfort Lil this way, but after Tom dropped Mary off at the hotel, he changed his mind again. Lil waits bitterly all night and finally decides to let go. She has long known this day would eventually come. Although the relationship began with physical desire, it is inevitable that feelings would grow over time. To help her best friend move past the emotional pain, Roz also decides to make a clean break with Ian. The next day, they gather together to announce the end of the relationship. The innocent Ian cannot accept this result, accusing Tom of destroying everything. But Lil and Roz remain firm in their attitude. Subsequently, Ian turns and leaves in a huff. Soon, Tom and Mary walk into the hall of marriage. To spite Roz, Ian strikes up a conversation with a bridesmaid named Hannah right in front of her. He dances passionately with Hannah on the dance floor just to make Roz jealous. But at night, Ian still cannot help but find Roz. Roz struggles with internal pain. If it were only for herself, she would reconcile with Ian at all costs. But it is precisely because she loves him so deeply that she is so resolute. Ian finds no outlet for his depression and spends the whole night surfing to vent, only to be overturned by a massive wave and crash into a reef, breaking his leg. Upon hearing the news, Roz and Lil rush to the hospital. Roz is afraid Ian does not want to see her, so she lets Lil go in first to test the waters, only to find Hannah has arrived a step ahead. During Ian's hospitalization, Hannah takes meticulous care of him and helps with his rehabilitation. Hannah's gentleness gradually opens his heart. However, while they sleep together, Ian still calls out Roz's name in his dreams. He explains it is because Roz watched him grow up and is like a second mother to him. Simple-minded Hannah believes this to be true. In reality, Ian never intended to stay with Hannah forever because he can never let go of Roz. Yet as fate would have it, Hannah actually becomes pregnant with his child. Soon, 5 years pass, and the original team of 4 has grown into 8. Ian and Tom each have a daughter, and the group of 8 enjoys themselves at the beach. Mary and Hannah are unaware of the complex relationships of the 4 people behind them, and the 4 maintain a tacit agreement never to mention it. One side acts as good husbands and fathers, while the other side plays the role of serious grandmothers. But these 2 seemingly happy families will completely shatter tonight. After putting the 2 children to sleep, Lil goes back. Then, after finishing dinner, Tom goes out for a walk using the excuse of sobering up. As his best friend, Ian sees the problem at a single glance. Sure enough, Tom has arrived at Lil's house. A furious Ian finds Roz after seeing all of this and says they need to talk privately. He tells her everything he just saw. Ian says, "We've both been played by Tom. He was the one who said it was over, yet now he's the one doing dirty things behind our backs. If he hadn't suddenly brought back a new girlfriend, none of this would have happened." However, their conversation is overheard by Hannah and Mary, as Ian impulsively exposes the truth. Simple Hannah is still asking for the reason, but Mary has already figured out the relationship between the 4. Hannah's eyes fill with tears, making it hard to accept this fact. Ian's silence completely shatters her last hope. Mary immediately makes a decision, which is to take the child and leave this filthy family. Meanwhile, Hannah casts a look at Ian. Roz blames him for speaking out and hurting the innocent Hannah, especially since they already have a child. In Mary's eyes, Roz and Lil, as elders, committed such scandalous acts with the younger generation, making them even more loathsome than Ian and Tom. Roz and Lil finally realize that when they said to stop, they should have been determined to cut it off completely. This taboo relationship was destined to be a mistake from the beginning. They pathologically thought that ending it could cover it up, correcting an old mistake with a new one, and deceiving themselves and others with lies. But that restless desire never disappeared. It only accumulated in their hearts, waiting for the moment to explode. Perhaps there is no right or wrong in their relationship. What is wrong is the fear of facing the world's gaze, the failure to distance themselves from the quagmire of desire, and the use of others as a disguise for love. At the end of the story, they decide to cast aside social constraints and truly live for themselves. Returning once again to their original state, they lie on that wooden deck, quietly enjoying the warm love that belongs to them. With its beautiful Australian coastal scenery and the superb acting of the two female leads, this movie tells a story of a taboo love that challenges social morality. It does not simply present a bizarre romance, but acts like a prism, reflecting complex light regarding love, desire, ethics, friendship, and social discipline, inviting deep reflection. In real life, such twisted relationships do indeed exist. If children truly grow up in such an environment, watered by such distorted maternal love, will their psychology really not become warped? What will their values become? These types of curiosity-seeking films often draw inspiration from reality, reflecting the abnormal psychology of a small group of people. The most profound conflict of the film lies in how it tears apart the two most authentic emotions, maternal love and romantic love. Roz and Lil's friendship became stronger because of their sons, and ultimately neared collapse because of their romances with each other's sons. They are both each other's strongest supporters and the source of each other's pain. This intricate relationship transcends simple right and wrong, pointing directly to the complexity and tragedy of human ethics and emotions. The value of adoration does not lie in providing an answer, but in posing a series of questions. Where exactly are the boundaries of the freedom of marriage and love we pursue? Is staying within the legal framework enough, or must it conform to social ethics? How should the balance be struck between an individual's right to pursue happiness and the responsibility of assuming social roles? The four protagonists in the film all paid a heavy price for their choices, losing their normal social circles, enduring inner torment and guilt, and nearly destroying a precious friendship. This suggests a cruel reality. Choosing to challenge social norms often means being prepared to endure the accompanying loneliness and price. Behind true freedom may be a massive lack of freedom,